All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? Ladies and gentlemen, for me to be dropping a story this early in the morning, just know I'm coming with heat. Heat, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, I thought this Drake and Pusha T beef was done months ago. But. We got a Drake interview with The Shop, and that is LeBron James and Maverick Carter's show. We got that interview last week. And in the midst of that interview, we got Drake to, for the first time, open up about his disdainment for Kanye West and good music president Pusha T. All right, in the midst of that interview, Drake was pretty much, he really was aggressive at Kanye West. But outside of that, in regards to Pusha T, he was kind of dismissive. He pretty much said, you know, you diss my family. You don't know anything about my family. That's cool. And all that. The thing that got to him, though, was when OVO 40 got brought up into this conversation. For those who don't know, that is Drake's producer, his right-hand man. He also suffers from a disease where there's no cure for as of this moment, in multiple sclerosis. And when Pusha T said these lines in the story of Adidon, according to Drake, this was what sent him over the top. And he was like, yo, somebody's got to get touched up. And he was talking about Pusha T. You got to get hands put up on you for this line in that diss record. Push said, OVO 40 hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. How much time he got? That man is sick, sick, sick. I got the devil flow, nigga. 666 surgical summer with his snip, snip, snip. So obviously you can see why Drake was upset. I don't think Pusha T wished death on him, but even speaking on that disease and that person in Drake's life, I get it. I get why Drake was offended by it. But I don't give Drake any slack because I feel like Drake crossed that type of line first in his Duppy freestyle that came out a few days before Pusha T's response, when he said, and I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. In my opinion, there's no room to bring up Pusha T. At the time, this was his fiance, now his wife. Congrats to them. I feel like Drake was out of bounds for that too. I thought both people took it too far. And you can't tell me how far to take it when you cross that line first, all right? That's where we were, all right? But this beef just went to an entirely different level. I can't believe the words that I'm about to tell y'all are about to come out of my mouth, all right? Pusha T said LeBron James interviewing Drake was so biased, and he pretty much said it made him feel like he had to come out and give his side of the story. So Pusha T is on the latest episode of Joe Budden's podcast. It's out now if y'all want to check it out on Spotify, I believe. It'll be on YouTube in a couple of days. And in this interview that Pusha T gave to Joe Budden, he reveals, yes, ladies and gentlemen, who gave him the information about Drake and his child. He reveals who gave him that information. I got the quotes from you. Everything that I'm about to read to you guys is straight out of the mouth of Pusha T and not mine until I tell you otherwise. Again, on the Joe Budden podcast, Pusha T tells everyone, the world, because he like Drake was painting this false narrative in that interview as if he got his, as if Pusha T got his information about Drake from Kanye, because Drake had revealed to Kanye about his kid, but that's not the case. This is what Pusha T said. The information came from 40, not Kanye at all. Yes, the producer, Drake's producer. Push said he got this information from Drake producer. Push said 40 is sleeping with a woman who he talks to 5 or 6 hours a day. 40 provides opportunity for her and ultimately speaks about how he's disgruntled about certain things, notoriety, and things involving Drake in his career and so far. With that also came the fact that Drake has a child. With that came the trip to see the child. This chick that 40 is sleeping with indulged all that information. I never told anyone that, what Pusha T said. He's like, I wasn't going to even plan on telling anyone where I got that information from. Then he goes on to say what pissed him off more was his man's Kanye went out apologizing to Drake. Remember when Kanye was under the Chicago subway apologizing to Drake? He's like, Kanye, apologizing for what? You gave me nothing. You shouldn't have done that. There shouldn't have been interviews done. He's talking about Kanye. Because of that, now Drake at the time is thinking, yo, Ye revealed this information to Push. But Push is saying Drake thinks what he thinks now. The only reason why I'm here, and he's talking about doing a Joe Budden podcast, is because Drake was so passionate during that LeBron James interview. But your friend, ironically, is the reason why. These false narratives gotta die. I let them run with all these false narratives. Even the Jay Prince thing, bro. I don't even know Jay Prince. He did a whole book tour on the back of claiming he squashed the beef. All these false narratives are covering up the fact we had a battle and you came up on the short end of the stick. 40 got to keep that line face on. They gonna know. He knows exactly who the chick is and what I'm talking about. 40 has to live with this. 40 gonna have to look Drake the way Drake looked at LeBron during the interview and asked Drake, "Did I let you down?" I don't think people just realize what I read to y'all. All right? I'm done with the quotes from Pusha. I don't think y'all realize what I just read. Pusha T just revealed to Joe Budden and the podcast that all this time Drake has been dissing Kanye West. Mad at Kanye West because he feels as if though Kanye West leaked all this information to Pusha T about his child, his Adidas rollout. That's how we got the story of Adidon, right? All this child with this hooker or whatever you want to call it, this escort, whatever. And Pusha T just called Drake out on this shit. He's pretty much saying, ironically, you thinking Ye leaked that information to me. According to Pusha T, he's saying no. Your own mans was the guy who released all this information. That's who they pressed. Was OVO 40's a chick. And ironically, Drake was upset at Pusha T for dissing OVO 40 about having multiple sclerosis. Ironically, this is the guy who spilled all your business, Drizzy. That's what Pusha T just revealed. And again, obviously, I can't take Pusha T's word as fact, but this is what he said. These his words. He's like, no, dude, Ye didn't release this information to me about your child and all that. Maybe you believe that, maybe you don't. The person who released it was your producer, 40. Do you understand the conversations that are going to be happening at that OVO office today? Or wherever the hell they at on the road right now? Push just revealed a lot. He said, no, it wasn't Ye. It was your own man's and a chick who he was sleeping with or continues to sleep with. I don't know. He goes for 5 to 6 hours at a time, reveals all his information to a chick. Apparently, when he gets mad at Drake and how much fame he does have or doesn't have and how frustrated he is with the OVO process and how he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, Pusha claims that 40 goes to this chick and vents to her about everything, including Drake in his life and his situations, including Drake having a child with an escort, the Adidas rollout, all of it. These are Pusha T's words, not mine, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you thought this beef was over, I don't know where we go from here. I'll tell you this. If I were Drake, I would leave it alone. Remember when Pusha T said surgical summer? Anyone who knows what that means knows that he said, I'm going to pull back layers of this thing. And it knows that this could get worse. Who knows what this chick has told Pusha T about OVO and Drake? If I'm Drake, I'm leaving this shit alone. I don't know if he's going to do that. Here's why I don't know if he's just going to leave it alone. Pusha T has essentially called out Drake's OG. He's essentially, potentially ruined Drake's closest relationship he got in the rap game with his producer, 40. Spilling the beans that it was 40 who released all this information. I don't know where we go for here. Thank y'all so much for the time, love. That is a huge story that I just dropped to you guys this morning. Pusha T claims Drake right-hand man was the person that gave them all their information about Drake and his child. I will be back with another video on this later today. Go give me a couple hours of Z's, and I'll be back. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Salute. Woo. No pun intended, but sheesh. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they you are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO. Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.